Welcome to the College Investor Audio Show, where we talk about the biggest issues impacting millennial money, from student loan debt to side hustles to building wealth. We will show you how to get out of debt so that you can build real wealth for the future.
Hey guys, it's Robert from the College Investor here, and today I am extremely excited to share with you this amazing post that we just put together today, and that is about 80 different ways that you can get student loan forgiveness. You heard that right, 80 different ways to get student loan forgiveness. Now, as I was putting this together, I had no idea. I mean, I knew there was a lot of ways to get student loan forgiveness, but I wasn't expecting to get up to 80 different ways to get your student loans forgiven. So I was really excited to see that, and it was just eye-opening that there are so many different options out there when it comes to getting your student loans forgiven. So I wanted to spend a few minutes here on the audio show and break down all the different ways. I'm not going to get to all 80 because there are just way too many, but I can definitely get to the big categories and talk about some of the main ones that you can use to qualify for student loan forgiveness. So keep that in mind. This isn't all 80, but it's definitely a good list of them all. And we're going to start with repayment-based student loan forgiveness programs. So I've talked about these before. These are the quote-unquote secret student loan forgiveness programs because a lot of people don't realize that they exist. But if you are on an income-driven repayment plan, if you are on IBR, pay-as-you-earn, revised pay-as-you-earn, or income contingent repayment, you potentially qualify for student loan forgiveness for any balance that's left on your loan after the repayment period. So that is an awesome program that allows you to get your student loans forgiven after making student loan payments for a number of years. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. The next big bucket of student loan forgiveness options are career-based student loan forgiveness options. And one of my favorite programs is public service loan forgiveness, because public service loan forgiveness is probably the best student loan forgiveness program that you're going to find because it offers total, complete student loan forgiveness that's tax-free after 120 qualifying payments. You heard that right. So 120 qualifying payments, which is about 10 years. If you don't miss any years in the middle there, you could have your loans wiped out for free. And, there's a lot of options with this program. You have to have the right kind of loans, the right kind of repayment program, and the right kind of job. But at the same time, the job thing is very broad. Anything in public service anything in public service, anything working for a nonprofit, can potentially see you get public service loan forgiveness, PSLF. There's also a lot of other career-based student loan forgiveness options. Maybe you want to be an attorney, and if you work for the Department of Justice, they have a loan forgiveness program. If you are going into medicine and you want to work in an underserved area, there's multiple different options. You can go into the National Health Service Corps, the Indian Health Service program. If you are a teacher, you could get a faculty loan repayment program. There's a lot of different options for doctors. Also for nurses, there's a Nurse Corps loan program too. So if you are a nurse and you work in a critical shortage area, you could get loan forgiveness. If you go into veterinary medicine, the USDA has a veterinary medicine loan forgiveness program. If you're a researcher, the National Institute of Health has a loan forgiveness program. So there's a lot of options there. Another big one is the Federal Employee Student Loan Repayment Program. So if you are a federal employee or thinking about becoming one, federal agencies are allowed to give loan holders up to $10,000 per year, up to $60,000 in student loan forgiveness as a recruitment tool. So keep that in mind that if you work in federal service, if you work in any federal capability, you have the potential to qualify for that program. And that's the tip of the iceberg there as well. There's a lot of different options when it comes to different employer plans, but one big subset of employment is the military. So serving our country is a huge responsibility. It's super thankful for all those that serve. But the cool thing is there are a lot of student loan forgiveness programs that you can get for enlisting. The Army and the Navy have some of the best ones, with the Army's being the cream of the crop there. But also the Air Force, the National Guard. There's different student loan forgiveness programs with those branches as well. And if you go into health services in the Army or the Navy, they have special loan forgiveness programs that give you even more money, higher pay when you're in the military, and more. So, it's really important to realize that if you're joining the military, make sure you talk to a recruiter first, because you have to get all of these programs on your enlistment paperwork, or else they won't honor it for you. The next big bucket of student loan forgiveness options are state-based student loan forgiveness programs. And there are about 46 of our 50 United States offer different student loan repayment plans. And this is the bulk of them, right? Because there are so many plans in so many states, and we have an interactive map in the article today, so that you can make sure you can click over there, you read it, you can see it. So this is the collegeinvestor.com/episode 74, and you can scroll down to the state-based programs, click on the map, click on your state name, and you can see all the different student loan repayment options that are available to you in your state. The next bucket of student loan forgiveness options are employer-based plans. So some employers have begun offering student loan repayment assistance to their employees as a benefit. We try to keep track of the list of employers that offer this benefit, and right now we have found 17 major employers in this country that are offering this as a benefit, and that list continues to grow. So realize that if you work for a major company, they might be rolling out, or they might currently offer student loan repayment assistance, and it is a great benefit to take advantage of if you are eligible to. Believe it or not, the next bucket is volunteering-based student loan forgiveness options. There are ways to get a little bit of help. It's not going to be a lot, but a little bit of help if you volunteer. The first one is for AmeriCorps. So if you volunteer with AmeriCorps or AmeriCorps Vista and you complete a 12-month term, you could be eligible to receive assistance up to the value of a Pell Grant, which right now in 2018 is $59.20 a year. And these benefits are available to all kinds of levels. So you don't have to be full service. You could be all the way down to just 100 hours a year in volunteer work, and you will still get potentially a little bit of money as long as the money is still in the program. Another cool thing that we found in researching this is sponsorchange.org. So Sponsored Change is a program that connects donors and volunteer organizations in a way to reward volunteers with student loan forgiveness. So if you have student loan debt and you want to volunteer at a participating nonprofit, that nonprofit, if they're part of sponsorchange.org, might have money that they can offer you as a volunteer in terms of student loan forgiveness for helping them at their organization. It's a really cool way to align different incentives from volunteer organizations and donors to get more people to volunteer for these different organizations. The next bucket of different ones are student loan discharge options. So discharge is a little bit different than forgiveness, but we're including them here because they do still get your loans eliminated. So the multiple discharge options are closed school discharge, unpaid refund discharges, total and permanent disability discharge, death discharge, identity theft discharge. So if you had student loans taken out in your name and you didn't sign up for them, all these things can get these student loans forgiven. And so I think they're important to note. We also talk a little bit about bankruptcy discharge. So many people falsely believe that student loans cannot be discharged in bankruptcy. The fact is, though, you can get your student loans discharged in bankruptcy. It's just very, very rare. The reason is you're going to have to prove to a judge that repaying your loans is pretty much never going to happen in the rest of your life. And that's a really high burden of proof. And that's why it's very hard to get your loans discharged in bankruptcy. Another big bucket is Perkins loans. So we don't talk a lot about Perkins loans. They're like the ugly stepchild of student loans, except they are really good because they offer a lot of cool options. And one of them is student loan forgiveness. So Perkins loans have this unique student loan forgiveness program that we dedicate a whole section to, but basically within 5 years you could potentially have your student loans forgiven if you work in a bunch of different careers, including attorneys and firefighters and law enforcement, teaching, pre-kindergarten childcare, nursing, librarian, all kinds of different programs that if you work for 5 years, you could have your Perkins loans forgiven, which is a pretty good deal. So something to think about if you have a Perkins loan. And then as a final thought, I wanted to share with you guys a notice for private student loan debt because there really aren't any options for private student loans. And I always get called out on this every time. Like, people really do expect there to be student loan forgiveness for private student loans, but they're private loans. They act much more like a car loan. There's definitely not a lot of options for them. But, one thing that you could do is potentially refinance your student loan. It could lower your payment by either getting a lower interest rate or maybe you get a longer loan term. Either way, it's something to think about if you have private student loans and you're looking for a way to reduce those payments. Cool. Well, that is it with the different 80 ways. There's definitely a lot of little subheadings within all of those big buckets that we wouldn't have time for here on the audio show. But I really hope that you go to the article today, thecollegeinvestor.com/episode 74, and you check it out and see if there are any student loan forgiveness options that you might qualify for so that you could save money on your student loans. All right, guys, thank you very much, and I will talk to you next time.